Welcome to today's episode. There's a lot of uncertainty and challenges happening in the world today. The global economy and growth are questioned for all countries and organizations across the world. But there was one person who thought to help people achieve growth with sustainability. I'm thrilled to have Dr. Nitin Dumasia, a visionary in the world of sustainable development. He's the founder, President and CEO of Growlity, a pioneering organization dedicated to driving sustainability through innovation, education, and community empowerment in India and in USA. With a deep commitment to environmental stewardship and an impressive background in guiding both corporate and community initiatives, he has been a powerful advocate for a greener future. Today, in this episode, we have discussed his thoughts behind the formation of Growlity, a few aspects of how Surat is evolving in terms of sustainability, things India needs to work upon, the challenges faced by businesses in Surat versus those in the US, making the shift to sustainability, and a few common misconceptions that needs to be addressed, not just to companies, but to individuals as well. Get ready to be inspired.
What differences have you observed between the sustainability challenges faced by businesses in Surat versus those in the US?
So the biggest difference in businesses who are operating from Surat and in USA is basically the kind of awareness they have.
Right.
So in Surat we are still finding it is not that much aware as compared to we see the other developed countries like US, Europe, and Singapore or something.
Hello sir, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Alright, so let us get to know more about you and your business. So can you tell a little about your journey and what inspired you to start a consulting firm that focuses on sustainability?
Yeah, so let me start with the beginning. I did my BTech mechanical from Burma and I was into industry. I was working for some multinational companies, into engineering companies and also into a consulting company.
Okay.
And then by the time I was growing, there was a life goal. By the year I entered 35.
Yes.
By the time I turned 35, I wanted to have a venture of my own. So that was the dream, that was the thought process from the very beginning.
Okay.
And actually during 2020, it was horrible time,
Yes.
pandemic, COVID time, but I was on the job. So during the year 2020, I launched this company called Growlity. Growlity is basically growth with sustainability. So during COVID time, we were all so free. I got a lot of time to think about it, and then we went to US. We registered the company first in US,
Okay.
and because I wanted to make it as a global company, so that is how it started. Those were the days 4 years back from now when we were designing our own website by our own hand, and nothing was happening. Everybody was talking on webinar, and there were only online meetings happening.
Yes.
We could do registration of our company still in Surat online and in US, including the bank accounts.
Okay.
Because that was something which people are seeing, but behind that there was a lot of I would say desire which I wanted to bring to everyone. And sustainability, why I selected, because this is something which is really a big problem. So I wanted to do something as a venture, as a company, as a global enterprise, which can actually solve a lot of problems which we are facing in daily life. So we are very, very focused to B2B. Today we do a lot of things in sustainability for enterprises, the companies, because they also have problems.
Right.
And by that time there was no one who was actually helping them to solve the problems. And fortunately in these 4 years of time we have done phenomenal work. Today
Right.
we are enjoying 150 plus clients.
Wow.
And we are so happy that we are able to solve this problem.
Great. So since you have mentioned about a company registration in US, what differences have you observed between the sustainability challenges faced by businesses in Surat versus those in the US?
So sustainability, we have to see in a complete picture. So when we talk about when there was a Kyoto agreement, Paris agreement, and people are talking about this 1.5 degree temperature rise and all those things, we are seeing that we are cutting trees, we are destroying the nature around us, we are not planting that many trees. What we are cutting today, we are bringing construction, roads, buildings, products, technologies. So in Surat, to be specific, Surat is a place where we have entrepreneurs.
Right.
Like we have business owners, we have companies who are like family-owned companies. For example, we have diamond companies, we have jewelry companies, we have chemical companies. They are all like a family-owned business.
Yes.
They are not much exposed to some certain extent. They are exposed to some international customers. And we, as a geography, we have never seen this as a policy or as a I would say a kind of a vision.
Right.
So Surat and around companies are, I would like to say, they are not much aware, and that's the reason we are not able to cope up the way other developed countries like US, Europe, and other countries are doing.
So the main education and awareness is the main point.
That's the point, and we started with that. We are also playing our role, what we can do to actually cope up this challenge.
Yes.
And a lot of things are happening. Government is also doing a lot of things. SMC, Surat Municipal Corporation, is having fantastic programs.
Yes.
And I'm seeing maybe next 10 years of time, our entire city is going to be much greener, which will help us to live better.
Yes, so focusing on the 2030 goals.
Definitely.
Alright, so since you mentioned about Surat, so it's also an historical and industrial hub. So what unique challenges or opportunities you see for businesses here when it comes to adopting sustainability practices?
Yeah, so challenges I was telling you, the first one is always awareness. So a lot of efforts are going in that. Technologies also we are seeing as becoming very very crucial here, and so far Surat has never explored a lot of technologies which can help us achieve our to be called 2030 sustainable development goals.
Yes.
But I'm seeing, there are so many companies who are exploring technologies like artificial intelligence, effluent treatment, plant zero liquid discharge.
Yes.
And then in transportation also they are bringing electric vehicles, they are planting trees, and they are, making lakes. So a lot of things are happening.
Right.
This is really an opportunity for other people also to see and actually leverage what good people are doing, and we can really create a better world.
So more awareness, more technology-driven aspects can also work a lot on sustainability. All right. So what are some of the most common misconceptions businesses have about sustainability when they approach your firm for consultation?
So it's not about our firm, people have their own understanding about sustainability. We are serving a concept called environmental social governance, ESG,
Yes.
that is more relevant to the business environments and enterprises, the corporate companies. But the misconceptions which people have is like they can do by themselves. But so far nobody has done, so
Yes.
they are struggling, they are experimenting, and when somebody like us as a domain expert go there, as people who are already and only doing these things will go there and they train their people. For example, they feel that they will be able to calculate the greenhouse gas emission calculations, the carbon footprint. The world is going through a very crucial stage where people are unable to calculate, especially the scope 3 emissions categories. So it's not about Growlity only, our firm only, but whenever you have that misconception, you should break those barriers and actually hire those experts, domain experts, to come to your place and then educate your people and then get it done with the expertise.
Yes, focusing more on the CSR activities, I feel.
Definitely. So those were the days when people were spending CSR only into education. They were spending money only for few causes like health and well-being of people. But now you can see people are planting trees. People are investing into initiatives like Miyawaki Forest.
Yes.
And then they are diverting their CSR fund into those good things, which is actually helping our environment.
Yes. So it's not just education that plays a role, but action also.
Definitely.
Right. I feel even BRSR and ASR reports works
Yeah. So it's for listed companies. If you are part of in India, if you are listed on SEBI, Stock Exchange
Yes.
of India, then you have to mandatorily disclose your performance of sustainability. That means how much water you are consuming, how much emission is happening, how many employees you have, how they are traveling, how many electric vehicles you have, and how do you manage your waste. So that way the governance and the reporting aspects is coming into a place for enterprises and businesses to be responsible. Ultimately,
Right.
we have to be responsible, right?
Yes.
So then only we can save the world in future.
Yes, I have researched about many companies and got to know that they work on particular SDG. For example, it comes from SDG 7, they have implanted solar panels into their factories. So, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so see, we have to see that how and what is going to help me in business. When you drive sustainability, some people are driving sustainability from their heart. They
Yes.
just want to give back something to nature and they are planting trees or helping people. But you also have to see that how you can take advantage or leverage your sustainability initiative in your business processes.
Yes.
For example, when you invest into renewable energy, not only solar but wind energy, geothermal energy, then that has to actually reduce the cost of our energy consumption in your factories,
Right.
in your buildings. You go for green building certification. You go and adopt some transform your vehicles from fossil fuel based vehicles, petrol diesel vehicle to electric vehicles.
Yes.
You go for zero liquid discharge unit for the waste which is coming out of your factory.
Right.
So that way, if we focus more on what exactly we want to do, which can help in my business also, that way we can always leverage those SDGs. And SDGs are just a direction.
Yes.
There are 17 SDGs which gives us a direction. You can still
Yes.
work on gender equality and then something will come to SDG. You can work on tree plantation and there is an SDG. You can clean the ocean, there is an SDG.
Yes.
So you just see that SDG as a direction and then you make your own plan. And
Right.
then use that in your business so that way you can be more meaningful to the people who are watching you as well.
More efficient to the environment, more efficient to the community, I feel.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what are the key trends or innovation in sustainability that you think will shape the future of businesses globally?
So I would say there are few things which are happening globally. One is the online education and the way people are actually getting more and more awareness through
Right.
classes, courses and stuff like that. I'm also seeing artificial intelligence is coming up very nicely and we also have a platform now, ESGtech.ai.
Yes.
And through that platform, we are able to help our customers to actually make their life easy. They can simply calculate carbon emissions just on their fingertips today. So those kind of technology adoption is also becoming a trend, and the world is becoming small. So we are anyway. We can talk to US. We can talk to the green countries in Europe. European Union is bringing a lot of regulations. So
Right.
those regulatory changes is also becoming a trend. So I would, some of the key important trends like awareness through the platforms, artificial intelligence like technologies, and the governance which is happening on a global scale.
So do you feel innovation in business with keeping a mind of sustainability is important?
It's not only important; it is the future. People are not going to be in the business if they are not innovating
Yes.
and not innovating with sustainability, keeping in mind, right? So sustainability we have to keep in everything we do. Suppose you are designing a product, you have to have sustainability in your mind when you design a product.
Right.
Okay. When you deliver the product, you see Zomato, Swiggy, they have the fleet, right? They have the vehicles.
Yes.
You have to keep in mind your carbon emissions of your vehicle. So in delivery also you have to keep in mind. In building you also have to keep in mind. You can go for green building
Right.
certifications. When you go and purchase air conditioning, you have to keep in mind how many stars that has, right?
Yes.
So innovation is must, but keeping in mind sustainability when you are innovating, that gives you the better leverage.
Wow. So, can you share an example of a company you worked with that successfully made the shift towards sustainability?
Yeah, there are many. So with our lot of hard work in the last 4 years, we are able to cross 150 clients as of today.
Yes.
Globally in more than 30 countries, sitting in Surat. Our team here is in Surat,
Wow.
and we have other people in Thailand, in US, in Dubai. So there are so many clients and case studies. There are
Right.
companies, I cannot name companies. There are companies who have planted millions and millions of trees
Yes.
They have created so many hundreds of lakes. They
Yes.
have transformed their entire transportation to electric vehicles. They have even educated their employees to an extent where they can go back to their home and teach sustainability to their kids. So many examples. There are companies who are into IT in our global client list. IT companies are investing into data centers which are running on renewable energies.
Right.
100% renewable energy coming to IT's data center.
Wow.
There are so many different. There are companies who are exploring sustainable construction materials. We are
Yes.
working with some companies who are actually converting the municipal solid waste into green coal, into
Okay.
white coal, and they are substituting these material which is used normally in boiler of manufacturing plants, and they are actually taking out of coal from the
Right.
entire process. That is how people are making everything green these days.
So green can also be equal to the equation of reduce, reuse, recycle, repair. Right?
Yeah, definitely. So those are the best practices people are exploring.
Yes.
When we talk about water, people are taking a lot of advantage of these concepts of 3R.
Yes.
Reuse, reduce, recycle. So water consumption, water recycling, waste we can use these 3R concept. Critical mineral if you are using. You see, just go and see some companies' sustainability reports like Apple. The way they are coming up with some carbon neutral products.
Yes.
Now they are talking about their extended supply chain as well. So
Right.
their suppliers also they are demanding to become more and more sustainable.
So have you ever faced any challenges wherein you were like, all right, now this company or this sector is a bit difficult to make it sustainable?
Not really. When your heart is pure, you can do anything what you want. And we have always gone with our knowledge we carry, the domain expertise we carry. There are few sectors who are not much aggressive, I would say. There are sectors like construction, oil and gas. There are sectors who are having a very deep level of transportation involved. Like aviation is one sector. So those are all the sectors who are always on the eyes of the people. Okay, but we have to also see from the complete picture point of view. They have their own struggle and challenges as well. Nobody
Yes.
simply don't want to ignore sustainability because they don't want to do it. But they
Yes.
have their pros and cons. That's the reason they are either doing it or not able to do it.
Right. So many of the time, even the oil and gas sector you mentioned, they have to use the natural resources. So reducing them is a bit more difficult now.
Yeah, and they are so massive in nature. So their quantity, their overall, I would say intensity of business is so large in nature. So even if they want to do something, they have to have a very big budget, capex involved in these, and then there has to be a workforce
Yes.
who can execute these, unimaginable dreams you make to do. So there has to be a force who can work. They are all exploring with the help of experts like us. Everybody is doing. One good thing I want to mention to you, in India we are working with Bureau of Indian Standard (BIS),
Okay.
and unfortunately we don't have any standard which we can follow. So with the help of BIS, we are creating one standard which is going to be ISO standard in future on ESG. So there is a 24 people committee all over India, and I'm part of that committee. I am giving my contribution to create a ESG standard for India, on the basis of which in future people or company will be audited for
Wow.
ESG performance.
Right. So where do you feel India stands in keeping in mind sustainability and also some essence of businesses?
India is really doing good. India has a very ambitious target to become net zero by 2070 actually. But
Yes.
I see we should be able to do it by 2050 or 55. The way our government is going,
Yes.
the kind of investment which is going into renewable sectors, now we have crossed 500 megawatt, that ambitious goal. Now we are
Yes.
increasing our goal. Now we are working
Right.
on cleaning the river. We are linking all the different departments. The kind of PM Gati Shakti program which is helping our infrastructure to be built, which can cut down a lot of carbon emissions by having those highways ready. So a lot of things are happening in India, and we are very diverse and large country. The population itself is like 1.5 billion.
Yes.
So we need to give time for that, and that will eventually happen. But I'm happy the way we are all going. And this decade, next decade is India's decade. Everybody is talking about this.
Yes. So, do you have any advice you can give to any of the person who is running a small company or even a larger company around in India or the world? What kind of sustainability factors shall they, keep in mind?
So this question somebody asked me when I was in the United Nations conference in Malaysia, and I spoke just one line over there: actions kill fear. So we simply don't, talk about what we want to do or what we can do. We just have to go and take actions. Actions is key, and we have to always believe that we execute things which we talk. So that makes a bigger difference about what you are talking and actually what you are doing. So I advise people who are listening us today, we should be more in execution. We should be more in taking actions rather than talk about sustainability.
So you mostly focus on the quote action speaks louder than words. Wow. So what are the some major steps involved can also become a good step for a sustainable future?
Yeah, so largely it is linked with the governance and the policy makers how they actually build. For example, Singapore is building a kind of a small village or city which has 15-minute travel time to go anywhere, any corner. So that kind of urban planning is important. Those kind of steps should be taken. Then organizations can also play a role. Through their initiatives of CSR, they can just go and spend their philanthropic approach to actually develop a community. And individually also we can do whatever we can do. Since last 4-5 years I'm paperless. Let me tell you, we are plasticless, paperless. If you come to our office, nowhere we use even paper. We never have purchased printer in our office so far.
Wow.
From day one we are paperless. So and then personally also I take care of the water I consume, the transportation I do. So it's up to us how much we can explore. And always I recommend people to do whatever they can do, because when something will happen, it will go to everyone, right? So it's not going to be that you will be excluded from the future, calamity which is coming to your place.
So I feel every small action can take a big place when doing it all together.
Definitely, yes, you're right.
Yeah, so let's say for example about carbon emissions. So you can do carpooling or at the same time focusing more on less wastage of water.
I tell you, when we go to conferences like United Nations conferences, they send us an email prior to that conference that don't come by using your own car. We request you to actually utilize the public transport when you are coming to the conference. Those kind of initiatives they take prior to the event is happening.
Wow.
That is the proactive mindset which we are looking to actually drive sustainability more in the future.
Yes. So what exhilarates you most about the future of sustainability?
The pace is increasing. People are being more and more concerned. We are seeing deeper level of intense natural calamities happening, and that is causing life. So that we are seeing, we are able to relate our positioning also over that. So that is something which a person like me can always see and do more work what we are doing today, and that is something which motivates me to do more.
Yes.
To our clients, to the people around us, to the community around us, and I am very much sure that so many people are there like me who are having this mindset to actually do something today, so our future generations are actually safe.
Wow. So where do you see the most potential growth in the industry of sustainability or?
Yeah, so they are saying that for 10 years AI and sustainability or ESG or climate tech rather, there are technologies like carbon capture and storage, there are technologies like hydrogen. So those are all the future trends, future industries, future technologies to focus.
Yes.
That's going to actually save the entire situation what we are today witnessing.
Yes, so you feel a lot more about sustainability and AI collaborates. It's going to be a huge advantage for not just humans but in the nature itself.
It has already happened. There are the creative people, the proactive people have already started taking advantage of that.
Yes.
And people will join more and more because AI has unlimited power. Nobody can imagine what AI can actually do for us to do something on sustainability.
Yes. So using AI for the correct means, understanding the sustainability factors, and also working for a better future.
Definitely, you are on the point.
Alright, thank you so much for letting me know your insights on businesses and how sustainability can be a huge factor kept in mind, not just for a better future, but a prosperous nature as well.
It's my pleasure. Always, I feel privileged and motivated to talk to you whenever I meet, and I am so happy that what you are doing is actually, creating some impact. Ultimately, impact matters.
Yes.
And I wish you very good luck. Keep doing what you're doing here. You are really doing very good, and we always want to see you succeed in future. All the best.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. Remember, big dreams and big changes always start with small steps. We are here with you on this journey, bringing fresh ideas and perspectives in each episode. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आया हो तो लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें. Until then, keep embracing sustainability and I'll see you next time.